Hello and welcome to your reading on what hard truths do you need to hear. Now, know that this reading won't be as light and light-hearted as some of the other ones. I was meditating on these cards, and the message that I received is that everybody doesn't want a message that we're walking on eggshells and spirits coming in with all the love and light and all the fluffy stuff, even though that's exactly what they want to give us. There's a part of us at the moment that really needs to know some hard truths. So I'm going to give you the readings that I channel and that Spirit gives me and that these cards show. And just, take it with a grain of salt. We're not here to tell you off. We're actually here to give you hard truths. And sometimes when we get messages that are truthful, they can hurt. So really be in the right mindset to receive this reading. If you feel that you're a little bit delicate, move on and come back to this reading at a different time, because my readings are timeless. So whenever you come to them is the exact time that you need to hear them. Okay, so I'd like to welcome you to my channel, The Healing Academy with Connie Rose. Welcome back to all of those people that have been here before. And if this is your first time, I say thank you very much for tuning in. And I invite you to share, like, subscribe, and all those beautiful YouTube things. So let's get started. So we're going to start with deck number 1. So this one here is the message. Now what I'm going to do is it's just the actual deck that you've tuned into already. So I'm just going to go with the first card that has popped out today. So for deck number 1, it's talking about sever vows of poverty. So it says, dear one, there's no need to suffer or sacrifice. Hold the intention of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial that you have made, consciously or unconsciously in any lifetime. We can carry things from old past lives that we don't realize is ours still. So there's something about you here holding on to the fact that you're always poor. Okay, as you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions of time. So that's your message card number 1. It talks about, severing your vows of poverty. So when obviously we know that this is about hard truths. So if we stay in this frame of mind that everything's too hard, it's too hard to not only make money, but it's too hard to maintain relationships, it's too hard to spend time on our health, it's too hard to get the right amount of sleep, it's too hard to look after ourselves, it's too hard to look after everybody else. There's a lack mentality going on for you at the moment that you're actually nurturing. You're making it your truth. Whether or not you know this consciously or not, you wouldn't have been drawn to deck number 1 if this wasn't meant for you. So it's now time that you're breaking these chains, or not. If you feel that you're not even doing that or haven't got the strength to do that at the moment, it's a message to you that it is time, and you can do this. Because when you stay in this lack mentality, there's a little bit of a victim mentality, a little bit of a poor me mentality, and we find it very hard to get a breath. We find it very hard to get our head up out of the water just to take a breath and to know that we're okay. So this is your message to say, snap out of it. Absolutely snap out of it, because not anybody can come and save you when you're in this mind frame, when you're telling yourself this story. And remember that I'm saying to you, it may not very well be a conscious story that you're telling yourself. You may not very well realize that there is this aspect to you that you are feeling sorry for yourself at the moment. But Spirit is here to let you know that it's something that doesn't need to continue, okay? So I feel like I'm coming in with a big slap across the face for you at the moment to say, wake up. Wake up. It's time to live. It's time to start, moving through life without thinking thinking that you're the one that has to miss out. You're the one that always, gets pushed to the side. So that's your actual message. I just want to pull out a few more cards here just to get a little bit more more information for you. Excuse me. Okay, so firstly, we have shameless sensuality, heed the vibes, and cause and effect. Okay, so you are very much the creator of your reality. You are very much the creator, but you're still not giving yourself the support that you deserve. You're not giving yourself the freedom. You're not giving yourself, these options. You're really, really letting yourself say in your mind, this is the way it is. This is the way it's always going to be. And there's no option for me but to suffer. Well, you know what? It's time that Spirit has stepped up to let you know that it's now time for you to really let yourself start loving life. And at the moment, it's really, really hard for you to see that there's any option for you. Excuse me. But when you treat yourself like almost a second-class citizen, you're not letting yourself really step into having these options. So this card here, shameless sensuality, and the word shameless is what really stands out to me, because it's like you're hearing all the words that you've heard, from adults when you're a child. There's a bit of this, be seen, not heard type of mentality that's happening. And this is not only your childhood, but ancestors. It's an ancestral line that you've got this aspect where the inner child can't come out to play, where you need to be punished in a way. And you're stopping yourself from even allowing yourself to feel beautiful, to feel alive, to feel youthful. And the shameless word really stands out, because it's not about letting people tell you that, you're looking good or you're doing okay, all this type of stuff, because you're not going to believe what people are saying anyway. It doesn't matter what type of compliments you receive, you're not going to receive them in this energy. So it's really time to step into just going, you know what? I'm actually okay. I'm actually quite sensual. I've got this sensuality about me, and it's time for you to tap into your femininity regardless of gender. So it's letting yourself step into that the beauty that you are, because once you start doing this, you're going to find an inner strength in you that's going to snap you out of any story that you've been telling yourself that you're not worthy, you're not allowed to enjoy yourself. Like, it's almost like you'll put on a party for someone and sit back and let them have all the fun and clean up all the mess, and you don't even enjoy yourself. Like, there's that type of thing. But I want you to actually dress up for this party. I want you to turn up. I want you to start doing your hair in a different way. I want you to buy yourself a nice top. But like, these things don't have to cost a lot of money. But even if you just paint your nails or do something, because in that you're rewarding yourself and allowing yourself to feel worthy. And it's all about the shameless word is what I get, because there's a bit of shame you're still carrying around, like you're punishing yourself for past things that weren't even in your control, yet you're owning them like you deserve nothing. What you're doing to yourself is quite, it's heavy, it's burdensome. It's making me feel quite restricted and quite heavy. And when you start, letting yourself have that breath of fresh air, you're going to start creating the vibe rather than sucking in everybody else's energy. So up until now, you've been really good at reading the room and not being able to change the energy. You've just stayed in whatever the room is. So you walk in, if it's someone's having a bad day, bang, you're having a bad day. If someone's feeling better, bang, you feel better. And you're feeding off other people's stuff. Well, it's time now that you really start using your vibes, raising your frequency and working with your energy. And in that comes the colors and the vibration, and you'll become so much more alive. So much more alive. So stop feeding off everybody else for how you feel, because that's what you've been doing. Now, if you notice that this is a, I want to say scorpion. Now, I could be wrong. It looks like a crab scorpion, some sort of shellfish. Like, there's a lot of different aspects to this. And I feel like even, which is interesting, but even the tail, if you look at the tail close enough, it almost looks like a duck. So there's so many different aspects of you. You're just being quite the chameleon. Wherever you are, you're turning into whatever is happening around you. No more. Let yourself be, unapologetically you, because you've been beating yourself up for too long, telling yourself you're not worthy. And it's now time that you step into your colors and your vibration and just let yourself feel what you want to feel, not what other people are feeling around you, because it gets too confusing and it's been dictating to you for too long. And in that, the repercussions of us taking on other stuff like it's ours is just, no, it's just boring, It's really a point in your life where you need to take the reins. Because when you do, everything will change. Absolutely everything. Not only how you treat yourself, but how others will treat you. You will start getting a download from spirit and messages that will help you take that next step forward. And you may not very well know where you're going next. And I'm here to tell you that is okay. That is okay, because once you break down the poor me mentality and the fear and all the low vibing emotions that you've been carrying for too long, it's now time that you just let yourself have that freedom of choice. Let yourself feel the feels, and you'll see that your relationship with spirit will grow. You'll be able to just take that step into the unknown, because it does look quite clear, your slate. It looks quite clear, as in clean and empty. So it's up to you what you do next, nobody else. And if you rely on everybody else and keep asking for their opinions, you'll keep doing this old stuff. You'll stay there. And there's too much for you to do now. There's too much for you to do, and you're not going to be doing it if you keep telling yourself that you can't. Okay, so that is card number 1, and it's time that you break that story you're telling yourself you're not good enough and move forward. That's where you're at. Okay, now card number 2. What hard truths does Spirit want to share with you today? All right, so I'm just going to shuffle your deck and pull out the card that is for you. Okay, harmony. Beautiful. All right, so I've got a harmony card. Now, this card here looks quite... it looks quite nice. Okay, I'm going to say it looks quite nice, but there's some stuff going on for you that you're in a place where you are so scared to not have harmony wherever you go that you are closing your mouth, you're not speaking your truth, you're not saying what you need to say, and you're just making sure everybody else is doing fine. Now, excuse me, in that, it's a really, really challenging time, because once you don't speak up, you're going to get confused and not know how you feel, because eventually you're just going to shut yourself down. Now, when you shut yourself down, it's going to be very easy for people to walk all over you. Now, it's not that these people are bad. It's absolutely not that they're bad people. You're actually training them how to to treat you, right? So if you're just like, folding under pressure or letting people say what they want without you reacting and them just thinking that you're okay with everything, they're going to continue their behaviors around you. So you're the one that it's at a time now that you need to start saying that it's time that you get boundaries. It's time that you're speaking up with how you're absolutely feeling. Okay, so you've done this before. You've certainly done this before, and I feel like it's been something that, was uncomfortable and you don't really like it. And the thing is, it's because you don't like confrontation. But see, change your perspective, change your mind. It's not about confrontation. It's just about you being allowed to share your views, okay? So I'm just going to pull a few cards here and let's get a bit more information as to how to do this. So the first card is enjoy the moment. The second one is the seeker's journey. And the third one is made for motion. So you are quite an energetic being. You're somebody who likes interaction, likes movement, you can't sit still for too long. Excuse me again. And the thing with that is, if you are in a situation, you like to jump ahead really, really quickly. You like to make sure everybody's comfortable, to go out of your way. I wouldn't be surprised if you're somebody who, likes to be of service, and that's okay. But the thing is, it's now time to receive. It's really time to balance this type of behaviors and relationships in your life, because you have been walked over for too long. And if you're unaware of this, that's another level of learnings that you need to focus on, okay? Because when you are always jumping ahead, you don't get to experience the moment. You don't get to see in people's eyes. Like you have a look at this card, they're literally connected. They're looking at each other's eyes. But what I do see here is even though they're looking at each other's eyes, in her eyes, I see a little bit of resentment. And above here, I feel that he's looking down. Now, this is a bit of a representation of some relationships that are going on for you at the moment. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, like I keep saying, but you need to start speaking up to make it much more even ground. And it's in the moment that you need to speak. And it doesn't make it a place of animosity. It doesn't make it that type of relationship. It just makes it an even ground, okay? So it's time that you start realizing that you have something to contribute, and it's time that you actually open your mouth and start doing it, because you know there's more. You know that there's so much more out there. And with this beautiful card here, it's a seeker's journey. You'll see that she's on the boat by herself. Yet in both hands, she has the light. There is a light in this hand and a light in that hand. They both look different, yet they're still as bright as one another and still doing the same job. So you actually have two choices at the moment. They're both will guide the light. They're both something that is for you, but it's up to you what you choose to do. But know that you can do both, or you can do either, or you could also do none. And if you do none, I just feel like that's going to keep you stuck. That's going to keep you in a space where you're going to still feel that resentment in relationships because you're not talking. Stop pointing the finger at other people like they're the ones that are making you feel this way. It's all entirely you. You need to speak up and allow yourself that expression of talking and saying how you feel. Because once you express yourself, you're going to break the chains that you've tied around yourself for a very long time. And like I said, you love movements, and you're made for motion. You need to move. You always have to be learning. You always need to be seeking, and just keep that journey. Keep doing your study, or if your research, or just keep reading articles or books or YouTube or something that keeps developing you as a person, because you've actually got lots to still do. But based on what you've been doing to yourself, it feels like you're quite stuck. So it's now time to start saying, you know what, this is how I feel, or I don't agree with actually what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but it's not for me, because this is what's for me. And in that freedom of speech, you're going to open up so much more of your flow and your energy that you're not going to feel stuck or resentful in relationships when you're the only one creating that. And when you start talking and hearing yourself, you're going to know that it is the right time, that you're going to not have to walk on eggshells and always focus on making sure this relationship's, full of harmony, and really let yourself just get to know yourself as you go through the next few months, okay? So that is reading for cards number 2. Okay, last but not least, cards number 3. Let's see what Spirit wanting to tell you for your hard truths. Okay, and it is this one. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Okay. All right, you know what to do. Card number 3, deck number 3, you know what to do. You have been telling everybody what to do, and you're not doing it yourself. You are not practicing what you preach, and it's a time where you need to stop still and really have a good look at yourself. And when you have a good look at yourself, you're going to know exactly what to do next. But at the moment, you are too, I want to say, frazzled. There's too much going on. You're not stopping. You're not listening to yourself. You're giving all the good advice in the world, but you're not taking it yourself. And people don't care what you say. They care what you do. And that's where they're going to really, you're going to find so much more respect in that. So time that you start listening to what you're saying, because you ain't. You're making everybody else listen to it. Now, I'm not sure if you're a teacher here, but I feel like there's a definite lesson to be learned for yourself, but you are teaching people. And it's a real eye-opener at the moment, because this is something you already know, but you keep ignoring it. All right, so let's see, get a bit more information, what's going on for you. Okay, we've got some similar cards. Well, we got one similar card. Okay, so the first card is Love Your Inner Child, Made for Motion, and See the Patterns. Okay, so yeah, just going back to, and like I said, you may be a teacher, you may be teaching children, or there's something going on with children. And if it's not with children, it's certainly with your inner child, because there feels like do what I say, not what I do mentality. And it's something that's not aligned with who you truly are. And the realization in itself could be quite frustrating for you. So at the moment, it's time that you really tap into what you really truly desire, what's bringing you joy. Because at the moment, I feel like joy is something very far from your lifestyle. You may very well be laughing and smiling in a crowd, but you haven't convinced me. It's something that needs to really be looked at. It's time that you sit with Spirit, you bring them in close, and you ask them to shake you up, because it's time that you get shaken. You need to get shaken to push out the I want to say bullshit, because there's a bit of a fakeness about how you're behaving at the moment, and you're well aware of it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but once you really have a good, talking to, you shake away the fakeness and start behaving how you really truly feel, you're going to find that you can access joy much quicker and easier. Because when that inner child comes out, you're going to hear yourself laugh. You're going to do the belly laughs. You're going to be able to laugh and feel that. But at the moment, you're just faking it. and you can see when other people fake it, you can see through them like there's no tomorrow, because you're very intuitive, you're very in tune, and you've just had enough of faking it yourself. You literally have had enough, because it's time for you to move. I want to say we're in a bit of a hurry here. I don't want to just sit and meditate and just sit and wait for answers. I want you to set intentions, and I want you to clear up this bullshit very, very quickly. Call in your spirit guides and let them know, okay, I'm here. I'm ready to admit to myself that I'm not living my true self. I'm not aligned with my divine joy. I'm not aligned with my divine joy. This is you at the moment. You're sitting there, you're telling everyone what to do, but you're not doing it yourself. So when you do sit in meditation, I want you to call in your spirit guides. I want you to be very clear with your intention and get it done, because you don't waste time. So the fact that you've been doing this for a while is quite surprising, because it's not aligned with who you truly are. So in that meditation, you'll get quick results. You just will, because you don't want to waste time. You don't want to spend too much time on yourself. You prefer to be, directing all your teachings to others, but it's time that you come back, regroup, and within a couple of weeks, you'll be right as rain, because you'll be doing what needs to be done. And look at your patterns, see the patterns, see what behaviors or relationships that are happening around you at the moment. What are they pulling you back toward? I wouldn't be surprised if something's happening at the moment that keeps you back, at a time that you didn't feel your best self, and you keep reliving it. Something that keeps pulling you back to a time that isn't now, okay? It isn't now anymore, yet here you are reliving it. So when you sit in your meditation, be clear, be concise. Let your guides know what you need. They already know, but they need you to tell them, okay? Because in this meditation, you're going to be able to really step into who you truly are. Stop, faking the smiles, because you've got a beautiful smile, and people know when they're real, just like you know with them. And it's time that you do 2 weeks of hard work. Sit down, get your head straight, know what your intentions are, and ask Spirit to come close to help you in these times. Your downloads, your awakenings will happen. They will happen, because you've been here before. You know how to do it. You've just got a little bit lazy. And, laziness isn't something that suits you. So that is your reading for deck number 3. And I know that that's enough information for you to get shit done. And they are the readings for the decks for this reading, which is your hard truths. I hope you enjoyed that. Please give any feedback. And like I said, if you feel a little bit sensitive, I did go hard with this reading. So please be kind to yourself. But I know that it's time for you to hear the big truths and the hard truths, because you're ready to get to that next step. And I send you all the love and light that you need, and you've got this. Well done. Take care. I'll see you next time. Peace out.